I'm Hannah.
I am Audrey.
All right, so we noticed a few things during our whole class math problem. One thing that we noticed was that a majority of the students in our class struggled to subtract fractions with common denominators. And this kind of surprised us because our classroom teacher told us that his students hadn't worked with fractions yet, but he said that they should have some common knowledge about it that they'd learned in other classes. So when we got our results back and saw that they didn't know, it was definitely a little surprising. But there were several different ways that the students attempted the problem, which alerted us to the fact that the students were having some issues with it. Some of the students used the wrong numbers to subtract. They used just different methods. Other students actually subtracted the denominators from each other, which was kind of confusing. And they found, or like they got the wrong number, so they got like 0 instead of keeping the denominator the same. And then some students added instead of subtracting. So we just found those methods interesting and we wanted to address them. 5 of our students actually got the answer correct, but due to the fact that they either didn't start the answer or start the problem correctly, most of the students didn't get the correct answer. So in order to clear any misconceptions about the problem, we're going to show you how we would solve the problem on the board to get the correct answer. That way, just everyone understands how to do it. So this is our problem. If you can see that right there. So it says, Joey's class decided to hold a bake sale. Joey and his friend Cameron decided to each bake a cake and share one bag of flour that had 12 cups of flour in it. Joey's cake used 2 2/5 cups and Cameron's cake used 5 3/5 cups of flour. How much flour is left over? So what Audrey did was she just underlined the important information and the information that we want to use to solve our problem. So now Audrey is going to solve the problem and walk us through how to do that.
Okay, so to start off, I would take the 2 fractions, so 2 2/5, and 5 3/5. And since we're trying to figure out how much they used together, we're going to add the 2 fractions. So since they're common denominators, we only need to add the numerator. So it'll be 7 and 5/5. Since 5/5 is equal to 1, this turns into 8. So we get a whole number. But we're not done yet because we need to subtract and figure out how many cups of flour is left. So we take the total cups that we have, just 12, subtract 8, and we get 4. And that is our final answer.
So 4 cups would be how much flour was left over. And there were quite a few students who did not get that, but we did have 5 of them who did, and their work was similar to what Audrey just showed you. So that's the goal that we want to get our students to, is to find that answer easily.
Okay, so for further instruction, we suggest that the parents work with their children on adding and subtracting fractions with common denominators like the one we just did. So an easy way to do that, there's an app that parents can use with their children at home. It's called Fractions, and since children have the iPads every day and they get to take them home, this would be a great app to download and to work on at home. This is what the app looks like. And if you don't have the iPad or the students didn't bring it home, you can also work on this online, and it's super easy. You can just click to make fractions. You can make anything you want, and you can make circles as the fractions too. So out of 12. And then you can color them in different colors to show how big the fractions are. You can also do symbols where if you wanted to add these two, you would just put the symbols, and the app lets you write stuff too. And if you didn't know how to do any of that, there is the info section right at the bottom right, and it tells you how to work the app. So this is a really great visual for working with fractions because it shows your children, shows them how big the fractions are or how small they are, and they can see how they can add it together with the common denominators. And since it allows them to write their own answers, so they can practice writing it if they wanted to.
All right, so we just think this would be a really good step in helping them practice math and fractions at home as well. So kids might respond to it differently. Some of them might think it's super awesome and it's really helpful. So with that, we just encourage them, or you as parents, to be to help them become confident in their ability to use fractions. So yeah, just be encouraging if that is a response that they have.
Another response they could have is that this might be too easy for them, and they want more of a challenge. So we recommend going to this website, www.mathplayground.com/fractions_forest_part5. So this is actually a really cute website. It allows the children to play like a kind of board game where they have to solve fraction problems to get across and to win.
Yeah, so that one's an awesome game that we think would really help. So another response that they could have is, I don't understand, and that's an okay response. But what's not okay is if they stay in that, if that is their continuous response. So with that, we would just suggest that parents work with their students more, work on the app that Audrey showed you earlier, and just continuously get more practice, especially because they get to take their iPads home. So spending some of that time at home focusing on math and fractions would be really beneficial.
Thanks.